And hello to Aaron, who says, "Hi, Mathwiz. How is your week going?" Oh, man. Well played, Aaron. Well played. Good to see you. My week is going much better now. I've pretty much fully recovered from being sick at this point, so I've got my full Mathwiz energy, although I guess I had enough of it on Wednesday to run what ended up being a 17-hour TMP show. And man, there was no filler time in that because it was gameplay from start to finish. 37 matches in total, hosted just 2 days ago. But it was a very fun episode. Cool. Oh, fun tuck there from Cole on his board. Yeah, it was cool to see a lot of the fun action, the new RNG div get played out. A lot of high-end play. Okay, Cole with a bit of a high board here early on. Gonna have some work to do to bring the board back down. Early on, 83,000 from Cole, 119 from Anjing. Yeah, Swig Potato. The cold is gone, the insanity remains. So, a normal TMP show episode. But week's been going fine otherwise. I got to enjoy seeing some of the Tetris Wars action all this week with Toast, Omen, and Ronkley, respectively, for the team clashes. Those are some fun duels. And then work's been keeping me busy otherwise. Although I'm hoping I'll get a bit of a holiday break for the next, towards the end of the month. And hello to Spectric, who says, "Hello, Wiz of Math." Spectric, I don't think you and I have had our match yet, right? For RNG. So, if there's an open slot today, I wouldn't be against getting that played out. Because I think we were supposed to have it on Wednesday, but then schedule just sort of got chaotic. As it often does. Speaking of chaos, Cole's still trying to find a way to get the board down here. He's currently at 152 right now, Anjing at 207. Looks like Cole in a much safer spot now on the board. As Anjing waiting out the classic Norg drought here. Does hit the T-spin, keeps the well open long enough to get the bar for a Tetris. And now bringing the board down. Now, actually going to play one off the bottom here. Still about a 50,000 point lead for Anjing at the moment as Cole is trying to find a way to a more stable board state. Does get the board cleaned up here. He's gonna go for the column 3 setup. Knocks down the Tetris. Meanwhile, now Anjing's board running into some complications. So Anjing will have some burns to make here. Still in the lead though. 300,000 for Anjing, 260 for Cole after that Tetris. I know, Spectric. Well, I was glad that you got to play somebody at least. You and I will find a day at some point. And hello, Snowy, who says, "Damn heavy hitter this early." You know it's Snowy. I mean, there's going to be heavy hitters all throughout the day, but yeah, I suppose it doesn't get much heavier than this to start. Thank you, Snowy. I will remember to take my stretch. Next, instead of water, I have some fruit juice with me. It's a pineapple, peach, mango combination. I sort of mixed together fruit juices. Gotta prevent scurvy or something like that. Alright, Cole's into 19 speeds here with 362 currently on the board. Anjing now also going in at 429, so still a small lead for Anjing, but Cole does have a completely clean board, so we'll see if he can get the scoring efficiency going here on 19, although Anjing running into problems. He's making some nice setups right now, but I don't know if Anjing's going to be able to bring this board down, and the answer is no. Anjing ends up topping out at 454, which means that Tetris from Cole will do it. Was a bit of a rough 18 stretch here from Cole, but he still ends up doing enough here to take the first game against Anjing. Anjing saying G. No GGs from Anjing. I don't think he felt that was good. Anjing saying this drop was stupid. Yeah. It's okay, Anjing. If you're gonna... I can't even call it a bad game. You at least made it to 19, but hopefully the second game you get a chance to play out some 19. Alright, looks like we got the ready from Cole. Just waiting on the ready from Anjing. Eventually we'll get that ready. Alright, there we go. There's the ready. Let's count it down. Game number 2. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright. So we get off into our second game here. I guess I can give you some info about the players. And also about the CTBW bracket that they're playing in. So first off, Anjing coming into this matchup with a PB of 1,130,000 points. 19 start PB of 936k. Also has 110k off a 29 start. But he's a hybrid player from the country of Brunei. His opponent, Cole, or Cole Bucket, is a roller from the United States, PB of 5,452,000 points. You know, just the casual triple rollover. Also has a 4.2 million points off a 19 start and 2 million points off a 29 start. So, yeah, no. Respectable numbers, I think, to say the least. Early on in this game, 96,000 points on the board for Cole, 98,000 from Anjing, so similar starts here between the two. Let's see here. So these two are playing in the massive Classic Tetris Biweekly number 26 tournament. Tournament of 41 players, although far fewer alive in the bracket now. This is actually a matchup in the loser side of the bracket, if you can believe it. As the path for these two has certainly been interesting. So, despite this being no SPS, Cole and Anjing briefly tied down to the last digit on points there for a second. So, certainly an even game between these two on 18 right now. Alright, coming into this matchup, Anjing was the 23rd seed of the bracket. Started out on the winner's side by defeating this and that in the decider. Then had to go up against Winter in the second round. That did not go so well for Anjing. He got swept. So Anjing then found himself on the loser side of the bracket, where he proceeded to sweep Tired, take down Stolen, and now finds himself playing the 4 seed of the bracket, Cole, who was awarded a later start to the bracket here, had to play Nyakozame in the first round, won that 3-1, then defeated Nerd the Box in a decider on his second winner's matchup, and then went up against Lukenzie in his third matchup, and Lukenzie managing to win that one 3-1, sending Cole to this side of the bracket, where he now takes on Anjing. Winner of this one will move on to take Maestro in the next part of the losers bracket. Also in the losers bracket right now is the 2 seed Knight and the 9 seed Jati, so a lot of heavy hitters down there. The winner's side already has their top 4, which is going to be Winter versus Critical Lapis on one side and Tugi versus Lukenzie on the other, so it'll be interesting to see how this entire CTBW bracket concludes. Currently on our game here, we have 389,000 points from Cole, 347 from Anjing. I appreciate that after my earlier comment, Cole did get at least 1 push-down point, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, so there's your outlook at the entire bracket. What started out as a 41-player tournament is down to just 9 people. Closing in on 19 speeds here. It's been relatively relaxed game, or at least as relaxing as a game of Tetris can be. Cole with a very slight advantage on this one. He's got 475, Anjing at 452, so 18's been pretty equal from our players. We'll see how the 19 speeds treat them. Spectric saying Cole doing Sidnev strats. I don't even know what that means, Spectric, but sure, we'll go with that, I guess. Alright, looks like Anjing's gonna have to take some burns into 19, but does get the board back down. Cole's board a bit on the high side here. Doesn't get a T-piece all the way over. Oh, hangs a bar as well! And Cole tops out at 486. So Anjing, you have a short chase down here. You need 487. An unfortunate high board that Cole had to take into 19. Couldn't quite make the placements to recover. And I think Anjing knows that he's got the chase down here because he is going into line-out mode. He is not going to take any risks on this one. Chase down is good. Anjing ties it up 1-1 here. Hello to Lukenzie, who says, going to Zaragoza Tetris meetup now, on the train right now. Enjoy your Tetris meetup, Lukenzie. Tell me about it later. I'm sure you will either way, but hope it's a fun time. We'll keep things going here at home for you, or virtual home, I guess. 4-hour plus trip. Well, if you need some entertainment for the train or car, or however you're getting there, this show is going to last a lot more than 4 hours today. Dad Kenzie comp debut? Nice. Make sure he's practices rolling, Lukenzie. You gotta be able to get those 5 taps, you know? Anjing is glad that he's met his quota of managing to get one game. That's for now, yeah, I figured, but can you imagine, Mackenzie? I couldn't even imagine my own dad trying to roll. That'd be a disaster. Anjing saying I did stolen proud? Okay. You make sure to let him know that later. Mackenzie, you're gonna start a Void family dynasty. Gotta learn the basics first. Yeah, I'm still struggling on the basics part. Alright, looks like Cole's good to go. Just need the ready from Anjing, and we will count it down for game number 3. Got the ready from Anjing. Alright, let's count it down. Game number 3 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright, as we enter our third game here. Hope that everyone is doing well on this fine Friday. It's the end of another lovely week for Tetris. And certainly plenty of Tetris on the docket today. I think we are booked all the way through minus potential gap between 23:30 and 1 UTC. Although I'm sure someone will give me a match to fill that later. Although we'll also inevitably probably get some 4-player scene action somewhere across the board, so might be some extra opportunities for gameplay if people are interested. But for right now, the confirmed schedule we got going on after this matchup, Anjing will be playing back-to-back RNG matchups, one against Penguin Panic, who had a bit of a rough outing yesterday, and one against Jedi Evan, who is emerging as an early contender to try and take the entire RNG division. I suppose it'll also be a bit of a revenge opportunity for Anjing, who fell to Jedi in the Opal Contenders match the other day. We'll also have some TMP div matches going on, featuring Lady Vader and Possum and Yama as well. And then a large mix of the RNG matches with a couple CTM matches and a ladder match thrown in there as well. So it'll be a busy day here as per usual. Alright, so far in this game, Cole with the early lead here. Not a large one. He's at 152,000, Anjing 124. Both players doing a nice job with their boards here. Although Drought starting to affect Anjing maybe a little bit, but he takes all the right burns to maintain his stack. I love the setup there for the double by Anjing. And then a Vitz from Cole is on his side, so both players certainly being creative here with their 18 stacking, it seems. And hello to Talvit. Good to see you, Talvit. Don't know if, I don't think today's show will run long enough for some late night Tetris antics this time, Talvit. Apologies in advance. I have to give a earlier end time than I did with Wednesday's show because whatchamacallit? I'm the opening shift for my workplace tomorrow, so I gotta be at work by 8 a.m., which means I ideally want to have to get today's show done by 10 p.m. Maybe I'll run it a little later. Prepare to see you on before I go to work. Yeah, I mean, I try to start the show as early as I can let myself. Had to make sure I got all my morning errands done. Groceries, going to pharmacy, bank, etc., all that stuff, you know. And the various chores and errands. The life of living an adult. Alright, currently 312 here for Cole, 311 for Anjing. It is another super close game here as our players try to do their best to navigate through the 18 stretches. Am I East Coast? Yes, I'm on the East Coast. So for me, it's 11:30 a.m. right now. And hello to Bran. Says TMP show this early? I love how people say this as if I didn't start the TMP show 2.5 hours earlier than this on Wednesday, but yes. When I'm hosting a TMP show, it's usually on the early side. When Coverdale's is hosting it, it's always at its patented time of 21 UTC. Earlier start means more time for Tetris, and more Tetris means happy Math Whiz. Mackenzie saying, seriously excited for the moment I get to meet Cat Divinity? Yeah, that should be exciting. Cat Divinity's certainly making waves recently with their gameplay. Oop. Alright, Cole's into 19. Had the floating amino there. Cursed sight that it is. 392 currently for Cole. 415 for Anjing. So, still a close one here between these two. So Cole now trying to fight through this board here. Not getting great pieces to work with. Anjing, meanwhile, is trying to keep a low stack here. Anjing will knock down a Tetris, extend his lead a little further. Meanwhile, Cole gets his board taken care of, well as reopened. Now just needing a bar here. And there's the bar. Tetris for Cole up to 433. Anjing at 469. Yes, Brand, you are reading the screen correctly. This is Cole Bucket versus Anjing. It's a classic Tetris bi-weekly match. The tournament that happens on average every 2 weeks. Except for this one specifically, because this bracket was 41 people and double elimination. So, you know, fun times. Alright, 495 for Cole, 530 for Anjing. Anjing continuing to handle. He's doing a nice job here on the 19 stretch. So nice that my brain forgot how to form words there for a second. But Cole doing his best to keep up as well. It's Cole building up his board here. Knocking down another Tetris, and so back and forth these two continue to go. We are seeing quite the duel here on 19 speeds. Both players still with clean boards here. Should be worth noting that Cole's a bit ahead here on the line count. He's currently on level 25, Anjing on level 24, so Cole will reach 29 sooner than Anjing, if that ends up being a factor, which seems like that's what we're barreling towards right now. 663 for Cole currently, 645 for Anjing, so that last Tetris from Cole has given him the lead for what I believe is the first time this game. Cole knocking down another Tetris as well, and Anjing doing his best to keep set up here in response. But the bar not quickly arriving. Now it does. Tetris for Anjing, 715 for him, 733 for Cole. Brian saying this looks really competitive. Yeah, that's competitive. Certainly a word for it, although Anjing gonna hang some pieces here, and he'll be done at 7:18, which means Cole, with 8:15, has done enough here to take game number 3. But Anjing certainly gave it a good effort. Forced Cole to have to go all the way to 29 speeds. And so 2-1 here is where we stand. Cole getting one last Tetris here on the 29 speeds for good measure. Anjing saying, wait, how was I in the running for that post 19? You're playing decently here, Anjing. But also, you are sort of going up against one of the top NES players in the world, Anjing, so this is going to be an uphill battle, so I was saying, it's definitely too early for Tetris. I don't play until after midnight. Well, if I started this show after midnight, Talva, we would... Don't tempt me with that, actually. Don't give me ideas, Talva. Frick time zones. Time zones are confusing. Alright. Cole's ready for game 4. Anjing ready for game 4. Might be the last game here unless Anjing can somehow do the unthinkable and force a decider here. But hey, we've seen stranger things happen in CTBW. Here we go in 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Anjing giving me the footnote here that he has gone to a decider with critical lapis before. Anjing, I don't know how to tell you this, but I believe I have also gone to a decider with critical lapis before. Although I want to say it was before critical lapis's PB and general gameplay exploded. Then again, I guess that was also before I was a max outer, so. As I said, CTBW, a land of strange happenings. Alright, so early on here we have 34-piece drought from Anjing. Somehow he makes that look like it was nothing, alright. RNG appears to be decent for Cole, as he's got 190,000 points at around 40 lines right now. Anjing currently sitting at 1 of 48. So, good starts by both sides. Average Norg RNG. This is true, Brandon. I mean, we have to give credit for Anjing to be a CTL Div 5, borderline Div 4 player with having to deal with the RNG of Norg. That takes a lot. CTBW, the magical land where 400k players beat 800k players 3-1. Brandon saying Norg is quite laggy too, at least on my end. Yeah, it's certainly an adjustment. Early in the days of me playing on an emulator, I sort of got used to the latency. I was well aware that there was latency, but I think my brain had IRL latency, so it somehow balanced out. But alright, currently 309 here for Cole, 274 for Anjing, so still a pretty close one between these two. Not too much happening on our players' boards as they're just making their way through the 18 speeds here. Okay, things going to get a little bit interesting on Cole's board as he decides how to handle this current stack. Alright, but so far so good from our players though. Cole still having to find some burns to make here to get the board under control. Anjing, meanwhile, with some very slight garbage, but it's going to get it taken care of here. So Anjing back to a clean board here. Cole still with some work to do. Less than 20 lines to go here until the arrival of 19 speeds. And Cole with, well, I was going to say a lead, but actually after that Tetris by Anjing, it is now a 400-point lead for Anjing. So once again, about as close of a match as you can ask for here, but once again, we'll see. What can these players do on 19 speeds? Because that will be the deciding factor. Unless Cole just takes it all the way to 29 and then hits the post on Anjing, which I wouldn't complain if that ended up being what happened, but first we got to get there, so here we go. 423 for Cole, 445 for Anjing. Both players with clean boards, both players trying to build up their boards here. Can they get the pieces to do it? There's Tetris for Cole. He'll jump back into the lead for the moment. It's Anjing now trying to navigate a bit of a tricky stack here, but ooh, didn't quite get right pieces over in time. So now Anjing going to need to try and make some strategic burns here. Oh, not getting the right pieces for that left side, but is getting pieces over. Okay, now reopening the column 2 hole here. I think he wants a bar for this. Okay, has to send a bar over to the other side, and Anjing bringing this down. I think he's gonna survive this, but as I say that, J piece is gonna hang, and now Anjing needs to get something over there. Cannot, and Anjing is gonna be down to 472, and it was a good fight from Anjing here. But Cole will prevail to take this matchup 3-1 and book himself an appointment with Mr. Maestro. GG's, and congrats here to Cole. Cole saying drought counter means nothing. Yeah. Gambler's fallacy. Basically, I think it's a fair way to look at it.